Hi, this is LaRosa Johnson with WordSearch Bible Software, and I want to welcome you to another WordSearch tutorial video. We're currently in our series on Greek Fridays, and we're taking a look at the different Greek tools that are in the WordSearch library, and we're showing you how to use them and what makes them useful. So we've already taken a look at BDAG and the Theological Dictionary of the New Testament, the abridged version. Today we want to take a look at another one of my favorite lexicons, and it's called the Greek-English Lexicon of the New Testament based on Semantic Domains, or as it's more affectionately known as Louw-Nida, which is the two authors that put this work together. Now, what I really like about this work is the way it's put together. It's based on semantic domains, which basically means that it's put together based on its meanings. You're not just getting a list of definitions in alphabetical order based on the words and all the different definitions put together, but it's grouped together based on the way the words are used, which is really nice. So we just quickly open this up to the table of contents. I'll show you what I mean. So if we come over here to the domains, you see that it's broken down into different categories. You see we have geographical objects and features, natural substances, plants, animals, foods and condiments, artifacts, and so on. So all the different words in the Greek New Testament are grouped together based on the kind of usage they have. So let's just say want to look at body parts. So then we have different parts under that. So we have the body, parts of the body, and physiological products of the body. So those are three different breakdowns that we have there for the body. And then underneath those are all the different Greek terms that are associated with that. So that's how it's grouped together. So as far as actually using this work, that's one way that you can use it, is if you have a particular area in mind that you're looking to study and you want to find all the different words that are related to that or passages of scripture. That's one way you can go about doing it, is by looking it up by the domain. But more often than not, you're looking at a passage of scripture and you're studying it and you want to find out more about that particular word. So there are three different indexes that are put together for this particular work. There's the Greek-English index, and there's also the English index. So you have an index based on the Greek words, you have an English index based off the English text or the gloss, and then you also have a scripture index. And you're not going to see that here in the table of contents, but I will show you how you can use the scripture index. Now, the one thing you will want to know about the scripture index is not every single verse is mentioned where every single word is used. It just kind of gives you an idea of how a word is being used in some of the more prominent passages where that takes place. So you may or may not always find the verse that you're looking for. It's associated with that particular word anyway. So without just going through here, because they're both by alphabetical order, we have this drop down up here. So we have the transliterated Greek. So you don't have to have a Greek keyboard or anything. You can just type it in with transliterated Latin characters, or you can do an English word. And so we'll just go ahead and start with an English word. We'll just type in love, and then you get all the different words that kind of relate to that. So we'll just take a look at love and loving or affection. So what we get here in the index is a list of different semantic domains where love or affection is being talked about. So we see it's here under 2533 through 2558, 25103 through 109, and then 25112. So to find out more about that, and just to kind of give you an idea, we'll open the table of contents back up, and we'll click on 2533. And it takes us to that particular section in the dictionary. Then with the table of contents open, we see 2533 to 58 in the table of contents. We get this whole list of words that are dealing with love, affection, and compassion. So if we're doing a study on love, these are all the different words that we want to take a look at and do a study on. So doing a study on love would be a really big study in this particular case. And then we didn't just stop there. That's just one area where this word shows up. So then we also have 25103 through 109. So then we have 103 through 109 right here. And then we also had 112 by itself. So we can see that here that it's under the entry of to enjoy, take pleasure in, or be fond of doing something. So it's not just love that we're looking at, but it also has that connotation as well. So that's how you can use it from the English point of view. You can also do it from the Greek. And we'll just use the transliterated Greek, and we'll take a look at the word parakaleo. So you just type in the words, and this is again the index entry for it. And we see a couple of different glossals or definitions for it, for how this word is used. So the first one we see is to ask for earnestly, which is 33:168. It's also to invite, which is 33:315. To call together to, or to encourage. So this word has a wide range of uses. And then we want to click on one of the links to get to the actual definition. Then it'll give us some passages to look at. There may be some footnotes, and just a whole range of information that you'd want to take a look at. You can see here, this one's talking about passages in Luke, where it's related to kaleo, phoneo, and the whole idea of inviting. So those are the two ways that you can do it. Then the third way to look it up by scripture is to use the Cross-Reference Explorer, which I've shown you quite a few times already. So you just open up the Cross-Reference Explorer, have a collection set up with Louw-Nida in it. And so here we're in 1 Thessalonians 4:4. So we'll just see what's under here under Louw-Nida. And then you see here we get 3 entries to where our verse is being talked about. So we see here we get the Greek word skouos, and our verse is talked about 3 times in this particular definition. And it's with the idea of the human body. Or we get to another domain, and it's the same word actually. So here we can see another definition where it's actually under a different domain. And here it's more of a figurative extension of the meaning of skouos, which is just the vessel. And here it's talking about a woman married to a man, with the focus being on that sexual relationship of them being a wife and the relationship they have there. Or then we have another domain here, and it's actually the same word, but it's an idiom. And here it's talking about the actual idea of sexual life and intimacy between a man and a woman. So this just kind of gives you an idea of how this word is being used in this particular verse, and how even though there are different domains that can be looked at, this kind of explains why you may end up with different translations for a particular word in a particular verse. So that's a really good instance right there, and that's how you can use the Cross-Reference Explorer to find your verse in Louw-Nida. And again, you may not always find the verse that you're looking for and the word that you're looking for, but it's one good way to get started. And then finally, like all of our other works, it's synced with Strong's. So open up a Bible. Let's say you want to look up the word body, which we were just looking at. And so we double click on it, open up Strong's, and then go back to Louw-Nida. And since it's synced with Strong's, it automatically takes us to that entry in the index. And then we can see all the different semantic domains where it's talked about. So where it's an object, vessel, belongings, person, body, wife. Then we even get the actual idiom for sexual life. And then from there we can actually go in and look at all those entries and see if our verse is being talked about. So that's Louw-Nida, and it's a really useful work, and I highly recommend adding it to your library. It's one that'll really help you, and I really love the way it's set up, because you're not just going to get a standard definition, but you're going to find the word, how it's being used in the New Testament and in that particular setting and context. So I hope you add it to your library, and until next time, peace and God bless.